Hi, this is Jimmy Pascal with JP's Coin Crafts, and today we're going to finish up with a part 2 video on how to make a tooth fairy box. We've already made the bottom half. Now we're going to make the top half, which consists of the topper, a dome, which is the lid, and a sleeve that will fit into the base. That's what we're going to be working on, making one of these. And this was where we left off, making a ring basically, and we're going to make that lid to go right on top. And to do that, we're going to need a doming kit from Coin Ring Tools, and this is a die we're going to be using. It's a 25-degree die, 25 degrees, 1.0 side, which means the opening is 1 inch, and a quarter fits perfectly right on top. The Tennessee side, Musical Heritage, is going to go down into the die. We have a lid here from Coin Ring Tools with some spacers which controls the depth of your push rod as you dome the coin. I like to use all 3 spacers. The lid goes on top. And then we have the push rod. This is a large push rod. The kit comes with 3 actually, stainless steel ones. This is a large, medium, and small, but this is a large one. I want to show you here before we start. One good thing about this one is right on top is you have a nipple that you can see that when I dome the coin, it's going to leave an impression, a little indentation into the coin, and that's where when I drill the hole later, it's perfectly centered for me already. It's already found center for me. And I'll show you more of that later when we drill the hole. But simply put the push rod in, slide underneath, using my 6-ton hydraulic press. Got the feel of this, and begin doming. And I'm touching, and I like to do about 9 little tugs here. See what it looks like. And on this right here, you need to start just comparing the size of the dome to the lid. And this is what we have so far. Not sure if I have to go any further with this. Get back in focus here. What you want to happen is you want it domed enough so that it lies right on top. And you just play with it a little bit. I may have to do one more tug with it. But that's what you want to be seeing. You want to be able to see the reed. And then it just fits right on top. I think that looks pretty good. We're going to add a topper to it. So that's all you have to do. It's pretty easy to dome. I don't have to use doming blocks anymore. I still use a doming block for certain things, but this doming kit from Coin Ring Tools makes things so much easier. No more ball bearings. Okay, so we got it going here. Let's go ahead to our next station. We're going to drill some holes and add a topper to it and just kind of get an idea of things. There you go. Okay, before we drill the hole in our dome for the topper, I want to show you the indentation made by the push rod from the doming kit. You can see the little dimple there, and that's where I'll be drilling my hole. But before we drill the hole, we also want to do something else. To make the topper fit better on top of the dome, we need to flatten it just a little bit. So it's nothing more than just putting it back on the plate here, taking a hydraulic press, make sure it's centered. And I'm just going to get, once I touch it, I'm just going to give it one little tug. It's going to make, I do this for bells, I do it for a lot of things at a dome, and I have to add a topper. Not touching yet. Okay, it's touching. And I mean, I just want to give it a, that's it, just a little tug. Let's see if I can show you. Yeah, there we go. go. Just flatten it out just a bit. That way that topper is going to sit really nice on top of your dome. Now we're going to go ahead and to the station and drill our holes. Okay, we're now ready to drill the holes in our dome for the Tooth Fairy box. Before we get started, I want to show you some of the things you probably need. I use a center punch to get the hole started. It's got a little bit of indentation from the push rod, but I'd like to make a little bit bigger mark with the center punch. Get that at Harbor Freight. I like to use, to start off, I do a gradual increase in diameter of my bits, but a 1/16 inch bit, these Hercules, they're got a hex shank on them. Love these to get things started. So we'll be using that 1/16 inch, and we need to make sure that, I'll just show you here, the screw that I'm going to be using is actually the diameter. It says here's a 2.7, and the largest bit I use is a 2.8. This is going to be the diameter of, it says 2.9, 2.8 right here. You want to get a bit that's going to be just a slightly larger than the actual screw that you can be using to hold the topper on. So, and I like to gradually increase the holes as I go. Start small and then get up to the one you need. Okay? And first thing I'm going to do, now if you can't really see that hole, I like to use these. I'm not going to use them now, but these magnifiers are really great for detail work. See the brand name there. So you can use that for detail work. I think today I can see these. So I'm going to go ahead and use my center punch. This out of the way. One more time. Get a nice deep hole. So when I use my drill, okay, just got a Roby drill. I use gloves because we don't want to hang on to the coin where it don't slip on you. Put that 1/16 inch. There we go. There we go. Maybe I do need the magnifiers. So go ahead and just drill the hole. This is the initial hole. Okay, that's the 1/16. I like to take a piece of wood and drill into the wood. Let me change out my bits now. Like I said, I like to go gradually. Just a little bit larger one. Let me make sure I get it on here correctly. You don't want to make it twist on you. And this can get tedious also. But you want it done right. Make sure it's going. Always start from the bottom and go out to the top. Line up the hole. Again, got the gloves on where I can hold it down. All right, that was an easy one. Okay, that's hole number. Made it a little bit larger. Now I'm getting close to the end here, but I didn't want to use the largest one yet. It's pretty difficult to line up. But I use this process for earrings. All you're going to need is that 1/16 inch bit. That's all I've ever used when I make holes for the ear wires. But need to make this hole just a little bit bigger because the screw for the, there we go. The screw for the topper is not going to fit yet. now we're ready for the final one. This is the 2.8 millimeter. Make sure it's in there good and tight. And this should be the final hole. This will be the final hole. Okay. Take off my glove now. I have this magnetized here where I can actually hold the screw. It should fit right in, going through the bottom. And let me try it again. I chose a gunmetal color because we're actually going to antique this one at the very end. Here we go. I can tighten that up, but there's our topper. So, not finished quite yet at all, but kind of gives you an idea right there how it's going to fit on there. Okay, next, just like we did for the bottom here, we sanded it for the bottom coin to go on. We're going to do the same thing with this right here. We're going to sand it flat to add the sleeve to it. But it's a lot easier to keep this topper on here, give you something to grab a hold of as you flatten out this side. So let me just set up now and we'll go ahead and get this flattened out. Okay, the next step is we're going to be making the sleeve that attaches to the dome. But we need to sand this dome reed edge flat to be able to attach that sleeve. And what I have down here is 120 grit sandpaper. You've seen it before on video part 1. And this is a 6x6 metal plate. You bought it from Amazon. I also got this from Amazon. This is PowerTech aluminum oxide sanding disc, 6-inch diameter, 120 grit, and just simply hold that topper and sand away. Get that reed side off, make it nice and flat. This is similar to what we did for the base of the Tooth Fairy box, because we'll be adding this quarter at the bottom. Then once we add the sleeve to here, it's going to slip right in, and we'll have our Tooth Fairy box. And after just a little bit of sanding, you can see it works pretty quick. There we go, nice and flat. Okay, the next thing, we need to go ahead to station again and start making the sleeve for the dome. Okay, we're ready to make the sleeve for the Tooth Fairy box. I'm just using a simple Washington quarter. We're going to be sanding later the face off of this, so I'm not worried too much about that. And we're going to use our Mega Punch set. For this sleeve, we use a 3/8 punch, 3/8 hole. Here's the die. I put coconut oil already inside there, keeps things nice and slick. Put the die in. It's a 24 millimeter spacer for the quarter to sit in. I put the eagle side down, clicks right on in. Using my 6-ton hydraulic press. You go ahead and put the lid on. Like I said, this is not self-centering, but I love this because all it does is just put the lid on top. No screwing in, no getting it cockeyed, no getting it stuck. Just lay the lid on top. Now put the 3/8 punch in. This is simple here. It's really easy. And just punch it home. Touching, just a few little cranks. And there went my leveler. But I punch the hole. I went all the way down, that way the punch out comes on out. So, just showing that's the punch out there. Just take everything out. And now I need to take and get this quarter off this punch. Let me just move my camera. I'm not going to stop the video and start up somewhere else. Going to the Arbor press. You simply take this and put it on. Put it on the lid. Use the lid to get things out. I like the little plate here, the Arbor plate, with a, it's 1 1/8 inch hole here. Get it from King's Coin Rings. Skip King has those for sale. Or I may have gotten it from Coin Ring Tools. I have to look that up. And take the Arbor press, just punch, and then go ahead and get the punch out. And there we go. We have our quarter with the 3/8 hole. Now in part 1 video, I deburred this edge, which I'm going to do now, and smoothed it out, getting ready to do some folds. Then after folding, I'll go to the ring stretcher, and I'm going to stretch this to about an 8, maybe 8.5. Then I'm going to reduce it to a 6, 6.5, and that's the size you need for the sleeve to attach to the dome. I'm not going to go through the deburring process again. You can watch everything I do in part 1 video, and I will be annealing this. So right now I'm going to deburr it, sand it a little bit, and get ready to fold. Okay, I did go ahead and show a short clip of the deburring process and also the annealing process for this quarter. I want to go ahead and throw that in there after all. And now we're going to go ahead and fold. And for this, we're using a stabilizing die, and this is made for quarters. And I'm going to put George's face down first, face down, George's face, because I want that to be on the outside, because we're actually going to sand that off a little later and make it a slicker quarter here. Quarter ring basically is what we're doing. We have the stabilizing cone, which by the way I've already put coconut oil on it. Made it slick. You want to do coconut oil on all your dies, your cones, your punches, things like that. All right, go ahead and initial fold. I did anneal. I did not have to anneal when I punched the hole, the 3/8 hole, but I did go ahead and anneal before I start folding. And unlike the $1/2, I only have to do 2 cones here. The starter cone and then this 1/4 inch stainless steel cone. Because now the hole is going to be big enough to go ahead and go on the ring stretcher. And I'm going to stretch this out to about an 8, 8.5, and then I'm going to reduce it to a 6 and 6.5. That's the size you're going to need for the sleeve to properly fit on the dome that we've already made. So now I'm going to I'm actually going to deburr this cut edge again and just check see if there's any cracks. I don't think there is. And then we're going to go ahead and I'll anneal again, and then we'll get ready for the ring stretcher to stretch this out to about an 8, 8.5. We're ready now to start stretching this ring to a size 8. Right now it's at a size 3 after doing those 2 initial folds with the starter cone and the 1/4 inch stainless steel cone. So got it on the ring stretcher, got it wrapped with caution tape, just like in video 1, part 1. And again, just start cut side down, read side up, 1/4 turn, do a little, see how it goes down. Just 1/4 turns. Some of my plastic is cut already, but it's still on the ring, the inside of the ring. This helps keep the inner detail. Just 1/4 turns and turn. But you know, you continue this process. Let's see what I have it at now. See, it's already at 6.5. So it's not going to take me long to get it onto an 8. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up and get this to about an 8, 8.5, and then we'll get ready to reduce it. Okay, I went ahead and sized it, stretched it on out. Actually, I stretched it out a size bigger than I wanted. It's about a 9 1/4, 9 1/2 right now, but that's okay. Things like that are going to happen, but if you can get it to an 8.5 and then start it, that's fine. But 9, one more size isn't going to hurt anything. But I'm going to go ahead and start reducing now. And we need to get it down to a 6 for the reed side and a 6.5 for the cut side. And I use my hydraulic press. This is a 17-degree die now for quarters, or if quarters fit in it well. I'm going to start with the 1.0 side, then I'll have to switch probably to the 0.90 side. But the 1.10 side, put the reed side down. Make sure everything is tightened up. Just slowly make my way down here. But I need to get this, like I said, to the reed side 6, the cut side 6.5, and then I'm going to be sanding the sides off, making it slicker, and then it's going to fit really well inside this, or for the dome. As far as this is going to be a sleeve for the dome. So go ahead and reduce the reed side. Let's take a look at it here. Looking pretty good. My lights don't go out. Just that little bit already got it to an 8. And let's see if it'll go in the 0.90 side. It does. It will now go into the 0.90 side. As soon as you can see it go, or be able to fit in the smaller side of the die, go ahead and do it. Now you got more to work with. I'm going to go ahead and reduce it some more. I've already annealed it, and I probably don't have to anneal anymore. Keep checking it. That's what you want to do. Okay, it's right at a 7 now. Alright, I'm going to visually look at it. And even though the reed side is smaller now than the cut side, I'm going to do the cut side now. Put the cut side in and start getting it even with the reed side. All right, a couple of, maybe another one. Got that oil on there sticking, but basically you're making a ring. All right, let's see what size we have now. The cut side is at, well, it was at 7 a while ago. The reed, the reed side is at 7. The cut side's at 7 1/2, 7 3/4. All right, gonna look at it. Let's get that reed side smaller. We're almost there, but this is things you need to keep checking. I know I need to get the cut side now. You just keep switching back and forth. Like I said, I'm looking, my goal is a 6, 6 1/2. And I'll show you how it matches up with the dome. Both look pretty even. Let's check. Getting closer. 6. Well, that's 6 3/4. That's still a 7 1/2. So I'm getting there, getting there, getting there. Do that cut side some more. Check this cut side. 7 1/2. But this reed side, 7. Got another size to go. And I'll continue keeping this video going. 17-degree die. Gave it a good whack there. Let's see what we got it now. So right at 6. Just a little bit more on that. Let me check the cut side now. I may have it where I need it. Well, that's right there on 6 1/2. Visually look at it. I may have it. I think I'm going to leave it alone. So there, I got the cut side to 6 1/2 and the reed side to 6. And then I'm going to clean this up. But I can show you. Well, I'll go ahead and clean this up. And then we're going to do some sanding here on this outside. Now I'll show you how the 6 to 6 1/2 size ring basically is going to fit and be really good for our sleeve for the dome of our tooth fairy box. Okay, we're back now. I've cleaned up this ring that we're going to use for a sleeve, and I've also been taking, as you can see here, I've been using the sand disc here, and we're getting a lot of this reed edge off here. I'll give you an idea there. There we go. We need to get all that off because now this is going to sit perfectly right on the inside of the lid here. That's what we're going to be wanting to do when I put it together. The other part is, here's the box we made, and then the reed sides, the cut sides down. This reed side's going to be up, and look, we look at it this way and say, oh, it fits in there. Well, it'll go in that way, but you got to put it in from the top down. And this is our next concern. Is this is just going to, it's just going to be just like that. It's not going to go in. So we got to take this outer lettering detail off the outside of this ring. I'm going to make it slicker. That way it's going to, as a sleeve, it's going to then slip down in there. It's catching on the lettering on the inside. I don't want to take lettering off the inside here. And somebody said, well, just open this up. Well, when I did that once. Then this lid here, the dome, will just fall through. And it just, it's just going to fall through. The thickness of the sleeve doesn't go all the way to the bottom. So it, and it just looks better when this lid is sitting right here on the top. But we're going to go now and go to another station, and I got about 3 different ways we can get this lettering off. It doesn't take that long, but it's kind of detailed. It's some detail work here to get it nice and even. But I want to get that reed edge off, which I've done. Now it's time to get all the detail off the outside of this sleeve. One other thing before we leave the station, somebody said, well, how much do you dome? How do I know if I got a good dome? I can tell you that the outer edge from here to here is 13/16 and the inner edge is 11/16. So if you're doming and you go slower than what I did, you can put this up, and when you get close to, when you get 13/16 for that width, you're fine. And the inside is going to be, of course, 11/16. So I know that's getting it pretty technical there, but that's what we want when we're making one of these. It's custom made. These are all going to be custom made. So put in the effort, and your reward will be great at the end. Okay, let's go ahead now and get ready to sand off all this lettering in detail. Okay, before we get started here with sanding the outer edge, or the outer edge and the outer detail work on this ring, I want to show you that it is at a 6 on the reed side, and then we did have it at a 6.5 on the cut side. All right, now time to get all this off here. Remember our rubber mandrel ring holders. We simply put the ring on, tighten it up. So you don't want it to get too wonky. And you just take some 120 grit sandpaper. And this is one way, just put it on the drill and just start wearing it down. Sanding it down. You can try different sides. That's one way. We'll take it off. Let's just see here. And you can see that things are starting to wear down. We have to do a lot more of that. You can also take a Dremel tool. Got the little grinder wheel there, a grinder mandrel. And you can grind away that way. Okay? Afterwards, we'll be using some polishing burrs, we call them. You can get these from Amazon. And these also will help smooth out all this grinding we've done and make it look really nice. I'm going to take you out to one other way, which probably my favorite, is just using a wood lathe. And I'll show you that process real quick. And my most favorite way of getting the detail work off of rings and things is just simply using my, it's a wood lathe. I have a mandrel here, wood mandrel put on it here with some painter's tape. That'll protect the inner detail of this ring. I do want to continue trying to protect the inner detail, even though this is going to be a sleeve. I'm grinding all this outside off, but this is a nice, easy way to do it. And this right here, again, 120 grit You can use maybe 100 grit, but just takes it off pretty quick. Just simply grinding away. I use this a lot for wooden rings, and I make liners for the inside of my wooden rings, silver liners, take the detail off. Stop and check, and a lot of it's already gone. So just wanted to show you 3 different ways. You know, the rubber mandrels that we use with our drill, we use a Dremel, or we can use wood lathe. If you have a wood lathe, just put your wooden mandrel on there. I put some painter's tape here again, you know, to protect the inner detail, and just sand. Now we're going to get ready to put the parts together. I'll show you what the finished ring looks like, and then we'll get ready to put all the parts together. Okay, I'm back, and I've already sanded the sleeve, and just let you know that the sleeve did fit perfectly inside the box part. So all that worked out after sanding all the outer detail off that. Now we're getting ready to put all the parts together, and so what I have is the quarter here is going to go on the bottom of the ring, or the box I call it, the Tooth Fairy box. This is the sleeve, and the dome is going to fit on top of there. Now, people that watch a lot of my videos, you can solder the pieces together, and I'm not set up for that. I'm not really good at it either. So I use JB Weld. It has worked great for me over the years. I've done plenty of coin bells and 2 coin pendants, and just name it. But I've been using this for the Tooth Fairy boxes. You have the steel and the hardener, and just a 50-50 mix here, just a little bit. Put on a piece of cardboard and mix it together. You get the gray color. And I've already started the process on these. Show you how I do put them together. But this has worked great for me. I've had nothing come apart on me, and it's very, very strong, and it's very, very clean. You get lots of clean, a clean look on the inside and outside of your pieces. No drips, no spills of the solder. So JB Weld. And I've already started the process, and once you mix this, I do have my magnifiers on where I can see, but I'm going to go finish this up here. I put JB Weld around the bottom here of the box, okay, that the quarter is going to sit on top of. And then here's the reed edge that I actually sanded off of the sleeve. And just, that's all you need. Just taking a toothpick and just lay it on top. That's how you use JB Weld. Move that out of the way. So, got a lot of Q-tips here, which I help clean things off. Need to clean that off already. But, here we go. We'll have the Great Smoky Mountains on the outside. So, you put old Washington there. Move this one out of the way. Make sure I'm in focus. And just simply drop this on top here. And press down. And I got a Q-tip here. Start taking some of the excess that's squeezed out. Then you can start seeing the edge of the quarter going along. We can clean this all up. And just spin the box around and get all the excess off. This is the tedious part here. But the JB Weld, like I said, it will set in 4 hours and cure in 24 hours. There's other JB Welds you can get that sets in 6 minutes and cures in about 4 hours. I don't like that, only because I like to come back in a couple hours and make sure everything is still centered 6 minutes doesn't give me much time. Now, once I have that on there, I've cleaned it off, and I'll go through and clean some more. But then, to get that clean edge, hopefully my head wasn't in the way. There we go. There's some inside, maybe it's squeezed out. And this is, everybody says, oh, you look so good on the inside. You take your Q-tip, make sure it doesn't move around on you, and you clean that out inside out. Make sure everything is nice and centered. And then I'm just going to let this sit on there. At the same time, we have this on the ring part. Get down here close, and you just sit the dome on top. Same thing. You're going to press it. Take the Q-tip and clean around. Get some of this off here. I'm going a little quicker for the video. And then here's the tricky part here. You take it, turn it upside down. It's still going to hold a little bit there for you. Look inside if you see anything you need to take out. And I'll just kind of clean out from around. Holding it really still. Okay. Now for this one, I like to take a little clamp. Make sure it's nice and centered. Put it on. I'll go back through and clean up these edges. Get some of this out. That's basically what I do. This over here, where to sit. And I'll put them somewhere and just let them sit. Just double check, make sure everything's nice and centered. But I'll let these pieces sit. I'll put this somewhere a little safer than right here. And, you know, tomorrow morning, I'll get up. It's worth it to me. I'll get up and they'll be ready. I'll put the topper on and then I'll antique it. So I'm not going to be showing a lot of the antiquing process. I have a video specifically made for antiquing with LOS, and that's what I'll use for these. And so, but we'll look at it in the morning, and then I'll antique it, and we'll see the process of after I antiqued and see what they look like. So that's how you put the parts together. Okay, we're getting ready to wrap up this part 2 video of how to make a tooth fairy box. And we put the parts together. Use JB Weld. Nice strong bond. Here's the bottom, the Great Smoky Mountains quarter. Onto the box itself, which is a Kennedy half. And we worked on the dome, the sleeve, which was a Washington quarter. And we attached that sleeve. We made it a ring 6 to 6.5, attached it to the dome. And we have a topper. And right now, well, let's just watch. Fits right in. Ready to go. Now, this is if you want it to be, you know, satin finish or silver, just, you know, natural color, then I'd leave it alone right now. You're done. But sometimes with the state parks quarters, the relief is, you know, not too bad on the national parks quarters. On the state quarters, the relief can be kind of low. And so if you want to bring out all the lettering and detail work, then you probably need to go ahead and antique it. I'm not going to show you the antiquing process. If you want to see that, I have a video of how to antique with LOS. And if you use antique, you get different toppers. This is a gunmetal look here. And you can get all these toppers off Amazon. I'll leave a link so you can get those. Here's an idea. Let's just move it. I mean, you got all kind of different colors and things. But I'm going to go ahead and antique this one. And I'll come back and we'll finish up. I'm just going to show you how it, I just want to show you how it looked, you know, not antiqued. And I'll change the topper to this gunmetal. I do not antique the toppers. They're already the color I need. So I just wanted to show you this one before I antiqued it. We'll come back, show you how it looks antiqued, and we'll be signing off after that. I hope you've enjoyed the making of this video. I really have. Things have worked out pretty well on this. All right, be right back with it, showing it what it looks like antiqued. Okay, we've now reached the conclusion of our part 2 video in the series tutorial of how to make a tooth fairy box. So I'm just going to show you, you saw it before I antiqued it. You saw it after 10 minutes, what it looked like. I showed a little clip. After 10 minutes in LOS, liver of sulfur. And here's the end result here. Took some steel wool and just brushed lightly on it until I got this gunmetal look. There's the bottom, Great Smoky Mountains. Used our Kennedy half for the box. There's inside. See the Liberty. Then we had our topper. We had the Washington quarter. See how the LOS really affected this color here, turned it gunmetal. There's the inside of the sleeve. And then when you antique it with LOS, you really see the detail a lot better on these state quarters. There's the Tennessee theme. Turned everything gunmetal, and I used the gunmetal topper to match. And that would conclude our video. So if you've enjoyed this video, please feel free to like my video and also subscribe to my channel. So until next time, this is Jimmy Pascal, and remember to keep on ringing.